Hello designers, this is me Azad and it is day 8 of Beginners to Pro series in AutoCAD. In last previous video we discussed about the arrays, types of arrays, and today we are going to discuss about the dimensions and dimension style manager, like how to give the dimension as well as how to like basically what you can do, like customize it with respect to the colors, what all you want, right? So yeah, dimensions are very important and anyways, as you know, like in the AutoCAD, it is a driven dimension already. So while drawing itself, we'll be going to give the dimension. Okay. So, but still, for representation purpose, for viewing it like at what distance it is, all those things, we have to give the dimension for that. Okay. So yeah. So while for drawing purpose, it is not that much mandatory to give. Okay. So because already while doing itself, we are going to do. Okay. So but for the representation purpose. Okay, so the client or else the draftsman, what will be like who will be going to look at it? Okay, so for their understanding, we have to give the dimension. Okay, so for representation purpose. Okay, so yeah, that is the thing. Suppose if you draw any of the line. Okay, so as I told, like it's a driven dimension. So if you draw it for like some 100 distance. Okay, so the dimension of this it is fixed of 100 only. Okay, so but how we can understand like with this 100 or 10 anything? Okay, so with the help of dimension itself, right? So that is the thing that is why we are going to give the dimension basically, right? So yeah, that is the thing. And here in the annotation it is okay. So till now, what all we discussed all was about drafting or drawing. Okay, so the currently the workbench which we are working with is drafting annotation, in which drawing only it is there, right? So in which we have the draw tool and the modify tool. Okay, so which we learned so far, right? So but now it is about the annotations. Annotation is the just like a information about the drawing what you gave. Okay, so like just like a dimension of it and then suppose if I have any of the surface of a object, like what is the surface finish of it? Okay, then GD&T, all those things, annotation, what all we are going to give, that thing we can call it as annotation basically, right? So yeah, we are going to discuss about that only. So first I'll just draw some basic structures here. So some lines and some circles. Okay, so some arcs. So first things. Okay, so to give everything, and I'll draw some rectangles also. Yeah. So yeah, so now I'll be going to give the dimension for this. Okay, so here there are two methods to give basically. Okay, so first one is this dimension, and then if you go here, if you just drop down, we are having a different types of the dimension, right? So this is dimension and this is dimension types. Okay, so anyways, if I go for this, I can be able to give every dimension. Okay, so there are multiple types are there in the dimension, which is your linear dimension, linear in the sense horizontal and the vertical dimension and then aligned dimension. Okay, so where 2 points are will be at a aligned manner, right? So then angular dimension, then radius, diameter, ordinate, jogged. Okay, so you can get from here. Okay, so these all are like types of your dimension which you do have, right? So this all the dimension with the help of only this particular command also we can be able to do. This is the common for all this. Okay, suppose if I go for this, you can see from here to here. Okay, so with respect to the selection, what we'll be going to do, it will be going to give you the dimension. Okay, so it is just like that. Okay, so just let me I'll just scale it down so that you can be able to see the dimension. Anyways, how to change the dimension, height and all those things also we'll be going to discuss. But anyways, before that, I'll just going to make it smaller so that the dimension should be visible for you. Okay, so the dimension, so anyways, however you will be going to choose the point, you can see if I'm going to go for the aligned manner, as of now it is aligned dimension. If I go somewhat to this side, okay, you can see now it is a horizontal dimension. Okay, so if I go other side, it will be the vertical. Likewise, wherever the orientation, okay, so not only the selection, the orientation also matters here. Okay, so with respect to that, we'll be going to get the type of the dimension what you have, right? So in the same way, suppose if I'm going to choose this, I'll be going to get the radius of it. Okay, so likewise, suppose if I am choosing here this line as well as this line, okay, I'll be going to get the angle of it. Okay, so with the simple this, okay, so I'll be able to get the all the type of the dimension what I have basically. Okay, suppose here the thing is, if I go for the arc, it will be going to give me in terms of radius. If I have a circle, it will be giving me in terms of diameter. Okay, suppose for the diameter also I wanted to have a radius. Okay, so that time you have to go for the you have to rely on this particular thing. Okay, so which is there here. Here the radius it is there. Have to go for it. That's it. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so if you want to go like manually, like everything has to be given accordingly. So that time you can go for the dimension. Otherwise, you want to particular. You don't want to make it confused. Okay, so you want to make it like clear one. Okay, so that time you can go for the particular dimension. Okay, and it is recommended to go with the particular dimension so that there should not be any of the like deviation or the disturbances. Okay, so because see in the AutoCAD, each and every point it will take. Suppose here it is not like only to object it will take the dimension. Suppose freehand also, if I'm going to give, it'll be going to take. Okay, so that's why to just to not to make it as a confused one, so we'll just make it simple and we'll go for the different types itself. Okay, so yeah, so we'll just go through this. Okay, so the linear in the sense only your horizontal and the vertical dimension. Okay, suppose if I go for this, you can see if I choose aligned manner. Okay, so this point and this point I'll be going to choose. Okay, you can see still I'll be going to get only the horizontal. I can't be able to get the aligned. I can get the vertical also. Okay, so horizontal as well as the vertical, but I can't get the aligned. Okay, so which is diagonal distance. Diagonal distance I can't be able to get here. Okay, so vertical and the horizontal I can be able to, because both are your linear only. Okay, suppose if you choose like straight points itself, so that time it is very simple. Okay, so you can't be able to go for the vertical because horizontal points only you chose, right? So if you there is a deviation in the point, suppose here it is this and here it is mid. Okay, so that time vertical as well as the horizontal, both the things will be going to get. Okay, so as simple as that. Okay, and if you go for any of the other 3D modeling software such as your SolidWorks and the CATIA, there if you are giving the extra dimension, it will show you the driven dimension kind of thing. Okay, so which is over defined. Okay, so but here there is nothing like that because as I told, it's a driven dimension. So it is least bother about the dimension, how much you have ever you are going to give, right? So it is your responsibility to give each and every dimension. Okay, so still we can tell this is as a drawback here in the AutoCAD because like that dimension. Okay, so what all the required dimensions are there, upon you only you need to select and you have to give it. Okay, so because in other softwares if you go like suppose example you are SolidWorks and the CATIA, there it will automatically it will shows whether it is fully defined or underdefined. If it is fully defined in the sense all the dimensions you gave, underdefined means you just missed any of the one dimension which is mandatory actually. Okay, suppose in just in case like if I wanna explain, see if I give the horizontal and the vertical, there is no need to give this diagonal, right? So in that way, okay, suppose if I have a line like this, if I give the from the origin, okay, so if I give the horizontal and the vertical dimension for this, there is no need to give the aligned dimension of that. Okay, so in that way, if you are giving any of the extra dimension, it will give you the warning. Okay, so you are over defining it. Okay, so but here that is not the case. Okay, so that's why each and everything on your own you have to decide and you have to give the dimension. Okay, so that is the thing, it is there in the AutoCAD, right? So yeah, about the linear dimension, yeah, this is the thing. Okay, so vertical and the horizontal dimensions will go for the linear. Okay, so with respect to this linear dimension, you can't be able to give the radius. Okay, so it is like that. Okay, so in the same way, if I just go for the aligned, okay, so this is for your diagonal distance. Suppose I want the diagonal distance from here to here. Okay, so now you can see it will be going to give only the diagonal distance. Okay, so not only the diagonal distance as it is the aligned one. Okay, so if you go for this side, okay, suppose as of now it is taking only diagonal, it is not going for the vertical as well as the horizontal. Okay, but if I take the vertical, okay, so both the line is in the same manner. Okay, so still it will be going to give me the vertical dimension itself. Okay, so it is depends on the point also. Okay, so but the thing is at what point you will be going to take normal to that, it will be going to can. Okay, so that's why it is called as aligned dimension. Okay, yeah, so anyways in the 2D will not use that much. Okay, so this aligned dimension. Okay, so but when it comes to 3D drawing, okay, so I'm not talking about the 3D modeling, 3D drawing, which is called as isometric drawing here in the AutoCAD. Okay, so while doing that, we have to rely on only aligned dimension, not other dimensions. Okay, so anyways, when it comes to isometric drawing, I'll be going to explain you. Don't worry about that. Okay, so yeah, that is the thing. That is about the aligned dimension. Then it is angular in the sense it will be going to give you the angle. Okay, you can see from here to here, the angle is 26. So much. Likewise. Okay, so from here to here, the angle is so much. Okay, likewise. Suppose if I want to give the angle, okay, so from here to here, but I don't want it to give the underside. I wanted to give the outside completely. Okay, so still you can see here, you can't be able to do that. Okay, so you can see 148 is there, 48 is there here, and 148 is there here. Okay, so it is not taking completely. Okay, suppose here if at all it is 40, which means totally it has to be 360. Okay, so in which if you just take out this 40, it will be like 320. Sorry. Okay, so but the 320 if I want to get, it is not possible for me to give here. You can see it is not coming. Okay, so there is a trick to do that. Otherwise, there is an option to do that. Okay, so particularly if you want the angle more than 180. Okay, so it will be going to give you within 180 only. You can see everywhere you go, it will not give you more than 180. Okay, so it will be going to give only below the 180. Okay, so if you want the angle more than 180, that time what you have to do, so usually how we will do for the angle selection, we will choose this line as well as this line to give the angle like this. Okay, instead of this, what you have to do when you go for the angular, okay, so instead of directly selecting it, you have to just press enter or space bar. Okay, so enter button when you press, then you have to choose this point and then these two lines. Now you can be able to see it will be going to give me the only outside angle, which is more than 180, which is total 320 here. Okay. So yeah, this is a simple trick or the option to how to do this. Okay. So yeah, this is also like a important thing we can tell. Okay. So once again, if I want to tell you, okay, so you just need to click on the angular, this line. Okay. Sorry. If you want to give more angle, like more than 180, when once you enter, you should not select directly the line. You have to press enter or space bar also. Okay. And then point and then these two lines. Okay. So once you choose that, you can be able to get the total angle of it. Okay. Yeah. So this is how you have to give the more like degrees. Okay. So in terms of more than 180. Okay. This is the trick. Okay. So then we have arc length. Okay. Suppose I have an arc over here. Okay. So it will be going to give the arc length of it. Okay. So this is the symbol which represent it is not a radius, it's a arc length. Okay. So and the linear length if you go with, okay, so that will be going to different. Okay. So you can see from here to here, if I'm going to give it, okay, sorry, I'm taking the line, sorry. I'll take the linear distance. Okay. So from here to here, the linear distance, if I'm going to give, okay, so it is going to different. Okay. So, but the, as it is tilted in terms of angle, it will be going to give you in terms of, like your arc length itself. Okay. Yeah, that is the thing. So then we have radius, okay, so with which you can be able to give the radius, okay, and for the multiple selection, okay, for the multiple times if you want to give the dimensions, you have to press the space bar, okay, so same like the previous thing, you know that, right? So yeah, then we have the diameter, okay, so for the same circle for, or the same arc, okay, so if I want to give the diameter, you can be able to give, okay, so you can see this is the half of it, otherwise this is the double of it, okay, so likewise. Okay, so yeah, this is about the diameter. Okay, so then we have two interesting dimensions. Okay, so one is the ordinate and one is the jog. Okay, so regarding this jogged, I'll tell you. Okay, so before itself, so jogged is also for giving the radius itself. Okay, so but the thing is, suppose if you look at this two. Okay, so it is taking at a point. Okay, and these lines. Okay, so these are the dimension lines only. Okay, so but it is superimposing on our drawings also. Okay, and here you can see for this diameter, okay, so it is going till this. Okay, so this line it is extra for us, right? So if you want to ignore that, okay, so as of now it is very smaller arc. Okay, suppose if you have a arc, okay, which is very big, okay, so something like this. Okay, so in this case, if you are going to give the radius or the diameter, it will be going to come something like this. Okay, so you can see it will be going to have a line like this. Otherwise, in other word, in other way, if you wanna give it, okay, so you can see if you are going outside, it will comes like this. Okay, so if you're going inside, okay, so it will be going to give like this. Okay, so but here sometimes what happens, there might be confusion that it is starting from the center. Okay, so as of now it is not starting from the center. Okay, so there might be the confusion. Okay, so for reducing that, okay, so for like ignoring that your confusion, what you'll be going to do, you will be going to give it as a jogged dimension. Okay, so jogged dimension is the one where it will represents. Okay, so this is not the center point, it is like center point is somewhere, but the given value it is of a radius likewise. Okay, so I'll just show you jog. You have to choose the arc first, okay, and then you have to specify wherever you want to place your jogged one, and then you have to specify how much length you want, okay, and then you can position the radius. Okay, so you can see this symbol represents, okay, so this is not the center of the arc. Okay, so the arc of the center of the arc is somewhere else. Okay, so it is just the representation to give the radius to this arc. Okay, so this is what the symbol means. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, so you have to give something like this. Okay, yeah, so both are used for reducing the space itself. Okay, so for ignoring that line. Okay, suppose if I give like this, the diameter. Okay, so if I'm going to give like this. Okay, so for not to give this line, we are going to give it like this. Okay, so but this is wrong. This is correct one. Okay, so do. So this is what is the jog. Anyways, this jog angle we can be able to change. Okay, so anyways, that also I'll be going to tell you. Okay, so yeah, that is what about the jogged dimension. Okay, so then one more thing, ordinate. Okay, so ordinate, for that only one point we are going to choose. Okay, so you can see if I go for the ordinate, if I choose any of the point, sorry, I'll go for the ordinate. I'll choose any of the one point. That's it. Okay. So if I'm going vertically, it will be showing me somewhere like 546 point something. Okay. So and if I'm going horizontally, okay, so it will be going to show me some. It is going to show me some 512 something. It is showing, right? So both are different. Okay. So this what is ordinate means? Okay. So it will be going to give you the ordinate. Okay. So which is this. Okay. So the coordinate dimension. Okay. So from here, this will be it will be considering as zero. Okay. So from there at what distance it is, okay, so that distance it will be going to show. Okay, so anyways, for giving the clarity, I'll just show you. Okay, so as I already discussed, okay, so this each is like this slot. Okay, so one bigger box it is of 50 by 50, right? So if I go with the line also, you can be able to see. I'll just snap it. You can see each and every like box will be of 50. You can see, right? So I'll be going to give the dimension over here. Okay, so I'll just turn off this. dimension you can see it is 50. Okay, so as I told, each and every box will be of 50. Okay, so which means this also will be of 50. Okay, so now if you are going to give the ordinate, okay, so if at all it is considering this as 0, okay, if I am taking horizontal or the vertical, it has to give me 50 only. Okay, and you can see it will be going to give me the same thing. Okay, suppose instead of this, if I draw a line at here, okay, and this time if I am going to go for ordinate dimension, okay, so you can see for the vertical, okay, so this dimension means from x, okay, so from here to here it is somewhere of 99.7. You can see it is of two boxes, okay, so it is 50 and 50 together, it has to be 100, but it is not exactly at the point, okay, so it is somewhere, so that's why it is going to give you the deviation of 0.77. Okay, so that, like, that is the thing. Okay, so in the same way, if I am going to give the ordinate in terms of like this, okay, so this is your y, okay, so which means from here to here, okay, you can see three boxes are there, so that's why it is 150 likewise. Okay, yeah, this is what about the ordinate dimension. Okay, so I hope you clear about these things. Okay, so these are all like what all the types of the dimension which we do have. Okay, so coming to the dimension style manager. Okay, so how to change the color of it. Okay, so how to change the text color, set text height, all those things if you want to change. Okay, so you can go for here in the annotate. In that, the third option, it is the the second option, okay, which will give you the dimension style. Okay, so that is one thing. Otherwise you can type it also, dim style manager. Okay, so you can see DIMSTY is the shortcut for that. Okay, so if you go for that also, you'll be going to get the same thing. Otherwise, if you are drop down here and if you are going for the second option also, you'll be going to get the same thing. Okay, so in that you just need to go for the modify. Otherwise, you want to create your own standard of a dimension also, it is fine, you can be able to create here. But as of now, I'm going to change the current one only, which is ISO 25. It is there. I'll be just going to modify it. In that you can see many things are there. Okay, so at the top we are having the lines, symbols, text, fit, primary, alternative, and tolerances. Okay, so I'll just discuss a few of the things. Okay, so which all are very important. Rest all the things, okay, so we'll see it later. Okay, so as of now the lines, okay, so in terms of line we are having two lines. Okay, so here only you can see the preview. Okay, so this is your extension line and this is your dimension line. Okay, so in the dimension lines means this, extension lines means this. Okay, so here you can see dimension lines are there and here extension lines are there. Okay, so in the dimension line, first and foremost thing which you can change is the color of it. Okay, so the dimension line color, I'll just change it to some green color. You can see everywhere it is going to change it like this. Okay, and then line type it is there, and line weight. Okay, so line weight means the thickness of the line, and line type means whether it is continuous line, dotted line, or center line, all those things, that type. Okay, yeah, that is the thing. And then here there is something called as a baseline spacing. Okay, so baseline spacing in the sense, so from here, okay, so from the baseline, okay, so at what distance it has to be. Okay, so that is the thing it is. Okay, so this is your baseline. Okay, so for your extension line, okay, so from there at what distance it is. Okay, so then suppress the dimension line one, suppress the dimension line two, likewise. Okay, so if you want to suppress, you can see here. Okay, so one side it is giving and other side it is suppressed. Okay, so if I just take out this, you can see both the side visible. Okay, so yeah, then coming to the extension line, how many like these extension lines are there, and here also the same thing. The first thing is the color, you can be able to change of it. Okay, so what color you want, and then here the extension line type 1 and line 2 also the type you can change. Okay, so both the thing type you can change, but the weight will be going to same for both the things. Weight in the sense thickness. Okay, so thickness will be going to same, but the type you can change from here. Okay, and then here also same thing, express dimension sorry, extension line 1 and suppress the extension line 2 likewise. Okay, yeah, that is the thing. And then extend beyond the dimension line, it is there. Okay, so this is the dimension line, beyond it it is going. Okay, so that distance how much it has to be, that you can specify here. Okay, that is the thing. And then offset from the origin, it is there. Okay, so this is also very important, which means like origin in the sense your object lines, and object lines are the one which are visible in nature. Okay, so you can tell it as object line as well as visible lines also. Okay, so from that at what distance gap it is there. Okay, so that is your offset from the origin. Okay, so as of now it is zero point 0.6 something, it is there. I'll be just going to give it as some 2 mm. Okay, you can see here it got changed, right? So that is the thing. Okay, so then fixed length extension length is there. Okay, so if you don't want something like this, okay, so now as of now, however you are going to drag it, it will be going to show you these lines. Okay, so but you don't want it like that. If you want to like just to showcase at the dimension line, that time you can just go for the fixed length extension line. Okay, so it will be going to like this, but the thing is this will create the confusions. Okay, so that's why we'll not go for this. Okay, yeah, so this is what the thing, and this is what all about the lines. Okay, and then coming to the arrow mark. Okay, so which you can be able to change it from here, symbols and the arrows. Okay, so the arrow size. Okay, so this arrow size it is there, right? So that you can be able to change. As of now it is 2.5. I'll be just going to give it as some 5. Okay, so now you can see the arrow marks are even more bigger than last. Okay, and then visibility of that. Okay, so all those things. And then okay, so regarding this also will come later. Okay, so as of now the like main things I'll be going to tell you. Okay, so rest of these things we'll discuss in the next video. Okay, so yeah, you can see here. Here the main thing is arrow size, and then all about it is about the lines. Okay, so here offset from the origin, this also you have to change, and then here the colors. Okay, so for your representation, you can be able to change, and then we'll just go for the primary units. Okay, so in the primary units, main thing, the separator as of now it is comma. Okay, so you can set as a period and the space also. Okay, so I'll just keep it as comma itself. Okay, and then I'll be going to change the precision. If you want, you can be able to change. Okay, and then here zero suppression is there, which is very important. Okay, so leading and the trailing. Okay, so regarding this also we'll discuss. Okay, so yeah, then these are the like some of the main things are there. Okay, so which you should change. Okay, so yeah, that is the thing. And then coming to the text. Okay, so text of this. Okay, so that this is also very important. The color of it I'll be just going to change you, and I'll be able to show you. Okay, here you can see I just changed the color to the cyan. Okay, or magenta, whatever you want to do. Okay, so and whether you wanted to keep it as like horizontal aligned with the dimension. Okay, so that is also different thing. Okay, so as of now, I'll just keep it as horizontal, and I'll now. Okay, so what are the changes till now I did? Okay, I wanted to showcase it. Okay, so that for that you just need to click on this. Okay, set current closed. Okay, so now you can be able to see all the way. Okay, so what all the changes I did, everything got changed now. Okay, so if you just go for the set current, everything will be going to set. Okay, it is not like till now I did it differently, so whatever I'll be going to give now onwards, okay, so for that only it will come. It is not like that. Okay, so whatever you did before also, it will be going to applicable for that also. Okay, so but the only thing is, okay, so your dimension, what all you did should be from this ISO 25. Okay, so if you did it from the standard, and if you are changing in the ISO, then you are expecting to change it here also, it is not possible. Okay, so if you want to change this, okay, so you have to change it from where you given. Okay, so that is the simple thing. Okay, and here you can see what all the changes I did, everything got over. Okay, so anyways, in detail, the other options also, like regarding tolerances and all. Okay, we'll see in the next video. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this, and you got the information. If you did, you make sure to subscribe the channel and like the video. Thank you, and that's it for today. Thank you.